Well, good morning, everybody. This is Chrissy at Crickets Chirps Farm, and it's been a little bit since we've done a goat video. So it is November. I had intended on doing this one in October to kick off breeding season. And breeding season, I do believe, now that today is, I think, the 19th. Nope. Yeah, today's the 19th. November 19th. I believe I can confirm now that breeding season has come to a close for us here. And you are here looking at Juno and Zeke, our two bucks. And I'm 99% positive that both of them were bred to our 3 does this year. Last season, you may remember that we only bred Juno. Being that he was our new buck, I did want to breed him to all 3 does to see what he produced. This season, I wanted to breed Zeke to Daffodil, who I will show in just a minute, and that is what ended up happening. Not the date I wanted, but we did get the right buck with the right doe. So what ended up happening was Zeke not only managed to get his breeding apron off, which they don't have on right now because we've been breeding, he also managed to get off of his lead in an area where he normally is. So it was actually my fault. I called Daffodil over to the feeding area where he was, not realizing, and breeding can happen in a matter of 2 seconds, and it did. And that happened back in August. So Daffodil has a expectancy date of January 22nd, which is not ideal because it's the middle of winter when it's cold, but we'll take good care of her. And as you can all see, Daffodil is quite large this time, being that it's only November, and Daffodil typically does not show at all. And last time she had triplets, so could just be that, you know, this is her her 3rd time now, and sometimes they'll do that. They'll show a little bigger the more freshenings they've had, but I don't know. I can actually feel the babies moving around at this point, and I've never actually gotten to do that on my does before. I can feel literally when I feel her side, they're rolling around inside of there. So we'll start taking guesses on Daffodil, how many there's going to be and what the sexes are pretty soon. So Daffodil has been bred to Zeke, which last time what we got was this little girl, Willow, and Buttercup, as you may all recall. So I'm really curious to see what we get this time. This little girl, Willow, who is a little girl in size, she has always stayed on the smaller side. Last time we bred to Juno, and we got 3, and only 2 survived. We got the 2 little bucklings were the ones that survived, and the 3rd one that didn't survive was also a buckling. The one that did not survive looked just like, and we also had a very, very traumatic delivery, so crossing fingers that was just because it was her first time. Pray, do whatever you do that she has a very easy time this time. If she doesn't, we just won't breed her again, but I'm pretty sure it was just because it was her first time. So moving along, she was bred again to Juno, and last time she had 2, interestingly enough, that looked more like Zeke, who is her daddy, had his markings. All of his babies end up having his markings, so it was really interesting that her babies ended up having their grandpa's markings. So we'll see this time if that happens again. So 2 boys of hers last time had their grandpa's markings, and they had some of Juno. One of them had some of Juno's markings too, that it looked just like his mommy actually. And then the 3rd one that did not survive was much too small, and they were all tangled up. Was the identical, just looked exactly like Juno. And then this girl over here, Luna, forgot to give you a date on Willow. She was bred the week of October 5th. And Luna here was also bred the week of October 5th to Juno. And the way Luna and Willow ended up being bred the week of October 5th, I was actually planning on waiting till their next heat after that, but Juno was driving me crazy. Every 21, 22 days that these girls went into heat, he just goes nuts, and he makes those little bucky sounds and sticking his tongue out and running around all over the place. He wears my does down. And at this time, I don't have a place to separate my bucks, so yeah, he just drives us all nuts. So I went ahead towards the very end of their heat and took his apron off and figured, well, either they get bred this heat and he'll be quiet, or the beginning of November, they'll go into heat again, and because his apron's off, he'll be happy, he'll be quiet, and they'll get bred. So they did not go into heat again this month, so obviously they got bred that first week of October. So the girls, Willow and Luna, will, again like last year, will have babies in March. So the plus side of this, as my son Christopher pointed out, I always like to look at the positive here, is we won't be having all the babies together like last time, which was quite difficult, being that one, we have a small barn, and two, it's just so much work, especially since my does. So last time Luna had twins for the very first time. She always has one, and last time she did have two beautiful babies. She had a buckling and a doeling. She always has gorgeous babies with gorgeous markings. And they're always quite large, and even though they were twins this time, they were large. We had lots of blue eyes last time, thanks to Juno also. That was the other thing about Willow's, though. The one that didn't survive did have blue eyes like his daddy, but the two survivors had eyes just like hers, very dark, almost black eyes. And Daffodils had, let me think. I know for sure, yeah, they had blue eyes. They all had blue eyes. So what I was saying is it'll be good because Daffodil will have hers in January. The other two will have them in March, and we won't have newborns all over the place all at the same time. And I'm all by myself, and I won't be having to be a midwife to all these does all at the same time. That can be very difficult and scary for me because I do work a full-time job and I commute to that full-time job, so it can be difficult. But let's walk around here and take a little peek at Zeke, our little Zeke. I know a lot of people are big fans of Zeke here. And yes, he is tethered, and I know a lot of people tell you never ever tether a goat, but we've come up with a way that has worked. He's on that thing, what do you call it, like spins around so it never gets tangled. He has a safe collar on, and he's been like this for, I want to say 2 years now, year and a half, 2 years, and we have never ever had an incident. There's also always someone around, so I'm just not worried about it. The other side of that is if we didn't do this, Zeke would have to be eliminated because he has hurt me and he has hurt another person, and he doesn't do it intentionally. It's mostly when the girls are in heat, but he is one of 2 of my goats that have horns, and his horns are very dangerous, and I just love him dearly. He is nice most of the time, and he's my sweetie pie. He's my baby boy. So anyway, hi Zeke, you want to say hi to everybody? And he is my fainting goat, as you just saw. He gets all stiff when he faints. So there's our little Zeke boy, our miniature fainting goat. Hi, sweetie. And with that, we will say goodbye. We'll talk to you guys later.